What would you do if the police told you they found your missing daughter's heart, preserved in a jar, but not the rest of her body? In 2014, in the small Appalachian town of Darrow Creek, West Virginia, 17-year-old Hannah Mallory vanished on her way home from school. Her backpack was found a day later in the woods, torn open. Her phone shattered, but no sign of Hannah. The town was stunned. Posters went up. Search parties combed the hills. Helicopters scanned the riverbanks. For 7 days, nothing, until an old man, out hunting deer, stumbled across a small wooden box placed carefully beneath a rotting tree stump. Inside was a glass jar sealed tight, and inside that jar was a human heart, floating in a thick yellow fluid. Testing confirmed it. It was Hannah's. But here's where it turns from tragic to terrifying. Next to the jar was a piece of parchment. Not paper, parchment. Aged, stained, and covered in symbols no one could understand. Runes, shapes, Latin phrases. Some were burned into the paper as if branded by fire. One line translated roughly to, "The vessel must remain intact. The offering is only the beginning." What kind of person leaves behind something like that? At first, authorities believed it was the work of a lone sadist, a mentally unstable individual performing a twisted ritual. But then, things escalated. 2 months later, another jar, this time found miles away, deep inside a cave, containing a pair of human eyes. Once again, the parchment. Once again, the symbols. And both organs belonged to young women. The media dubbed it the organ scribe, a monster with a taste for ritualistic horror. But when investigators traced the symbols, they found something unexpected. They matched designs from an obscure 16th century manuscript. One linked to a cult of scholars who believed preserving organs in sacred jars could trap the soul. Was this a copycat killer inspired by history? Or something darker? Something still alive? Then came the most disturbing part. The FBI discovered that all 3 victims, yes, 3, had visited the same online forum in the weeks before their disappearance. A private, invitation-only community. Username protected. Topic: Eternal consciousness through separation. What does that mean? Some say it's a reference to an ancient belief that if a person's heart is preserved separately from the body, their consciousness becomes divided, trapped, wandering. Was this murderer experimenting, trying to create something, or stop something? One whistleblower, a former user of the forum, claimed it wasn't a serial killer. It was a group, a modern-day cult practicing something they called soul tethering, and they believed organs could act as anchors between this world and what lies beyond. Of course, no charges were filed, no cults exposed, and officially the case remains open and unsolved. But ask anyone in Darrow Creek today, and they'll tell you, we never saw Hannah again, but sometimes we still hear crying in the woods. So now we ask you, was this a sadistic murderer with a twisted mind? Or are we dealing with something far more ancient and far more terrifying? Tell us what you think in the comments, because the truth may be worse than fiction, and it might still be out there.